Well, when I was a teenager, I was always interested in anything that had to do with working with my hands. And I began building models and ships and airplanes and doing all this, tying those little knots. And I just learned very early that I had an aptitude for working with my hands. As I got a little bit older, I took the aptitude test and they said, "You should be a dentist. You should be a dentist." But you know, when I got to college, I said, you know, medicine is where it's at. And maybe I can combine my surgical skills or my digital skills with something in surgery. So from the very start, I began to know that I was headed in some way that I would want to use my hands. I actually learned building furniture and building things, and that moved on to surgery, really, working on frogs and then dogs and then finally humans. My last rotation in medical school was in dermatology. I got a little exposure into surgery there. I had great dog labs, working on the dogs, and then I knew I was in my area. So after I was in the military, I was in the Navy for a couple of years. I did a lot of woodworking those years, and then I went into dermatology, and from the start in dermatology, I knew I was headed for that. I would travel down from Dartmouth, where I was in college, down to Dartmouth, from Dartmouth down to Boston, and trained under one of the leading U.S. transplant surgeons, and that started my real love for hair. I've just always loved working with men and women who've losing their hair, and even though I never lost mine very much. I always thought I was going to lose it, but I've been very lucky and not have lost it. But I've always enjoyed working with people who wanted to look better, improve themselves, and I felt that I could play a role in that, and I wanted to. So I came up to bat and really started working with that.